Hey, if you're rated 1000 or below and can't seem to get past that level, I'm going to share with you the top 6 reasons why that might be the case and tell you how you can fix those issues so you can get to 1100, 1200, and beyond. So this is actually the third video in a series. I've already talked about how to get past the 600 level, how to get past the 800 level, and now obviously we're doing 1000. I'm also going to be doing 1200, 1400, 1600 after this one, so keep an eye out for those. And if you are lower rated and you want to go back and check out those other ones, I'll link those down below. But let's get started. Alright, so as usual with these kind of videos, I analyzed 100 different games from players who were all rated right around 1000, and I paid close attention to what kind of mistakes they were making that were costing them the game. And I wrote all these mistakes down in my spreadsheet so I could keep track of them. And I noticed that there were 6 things that were the most common that came up over and over again. Now you'll notice that the first 2 types of mistakes are actually the same that I talked about in my video on how to get past 800. They don't happen as often, but they're still the same kind of mistakes. So blundering and not castling are 2 of the issues. Alright, now the third mistake, and this was the most common that I saw among 1000 rated players, is what I'm calling tactics mistakes. Now to understand what I mean by this, I need to talk about blunders and how they are different from tactics mistakes. So very briefly, as I mentioned in the previous video, blunders are simply mistakes where you're basically just losing pieces for free that you shouldn't be losing. So as an example, if I play e4, e5, bishop b5, my opponent plays a6, and for some reason I just don't notice that my bishop is being attacked, and I move some random move over here, and he takes my bishop. Okay, that is a blunder. I just gave away a piece for no reason. And again, if I move my knight to g5 and don't see that, hey, his queen can just take it, that's another blunder. I just gave away that knight for no reason. And if I play d3, attack his queen, but then he moves and I don't remember or I don't see that, hey, I can take his queen, and I do something else, like maybe castle, not taking the queen, another example of a blunder, right? Free pieces that you're either giving up or you're not taking are blunders. All right, now I want to explain how that's different from tactics mistakes. So let me explain what I mean when I say tactics. So in chess, tactics are just moves that you make. It could be one move or it could be a sequence of moves that give you some kind of advantage. A lot of times you have tactics that can lead to checkmate, but you can also have tactics that just lead to you winning a piece or even just getting into a better position. All right, so in the position on the board, black just played bishop to e6, which was a big mistake, and now we have a little one-move tactic that we can play to win a piece. So we simply move our pawn forward, and we create this little pawn fork, and black can't deal with both of these threats at the same time. He has to choose which piece he wants to save, and then we'll take the other one. So that was just an example of a one-move tactic where we win a piece. So let me show you one more example. This one's a little bit more advanced. It's a 3-move tactic, and this one actually leads to checkmate. This is one of my favorite types of checkmates. It's called smothered checkmate. And the way it works is you have a queen lined up on a king and a knight, and you can get discovered check with your knight. So you play knight to h6, and what this does is it creates a discovered double check. It's a double check because the king's attacked by both pieces at the same time. So the only way to get out of a double check is to move your king somewhere. So if black moves to f8, well, we simply bring our queen to f7, checkmate, because it's defended by the knight. So the only other move he can try is king to h8. And now is when we can play queen to g8, check, forcing black to capture our queen with either his rook or his knight. So he can't take it with the king because our knight defends it. So if he takes with either piece, the rook or the knight, see if you can see the move that we're going to play next. If you said knight to f7, checkmate, you would be correct. So it's a smothered checkmate because his king's surrounded by his own pieces, but he can't do anything. So that's another example of a tactic. It's a little bit more advanced. It's a 3-move tactic, and it leads to checkmate as opposed to the other one that just led to winning a piece. But I think you get the idea. Those are tactics, little combinations of moves or a single move that gives you some kind of advantage. All right, so now you understand what tactics are. Going back to my spreadsheet, when I say tactics mistakes, what I'm talking about are people who thought they were going to be making a good move, trying to do a tactic. They thought they saw something, but it turned out that it wasn't actually accurate. So as another example, the position on the board right now looks very similar to the one that I just showed you. And some of you might be thinking, oh yeah, this is the smothered checkmate, right? You've got the queen, you've got the knight, you move the knight, and you get the smothered checkmate just like I just showed, right? But let's see what happens. So we play knight h6, creating a double check, right? Black moves to the corner, And what do? We play queen to g8, and then he captures with the rook, and we come into f7 checkmate, except what's the problem? This queen is sitting here now where it wasn't before. It just takes our knight. It's not checkmate. We just gave up our queen and our knight for no reason. It was very similar, and it looked like it was going to be a smothered checkmate, but it wasn't, right? So this is an example of a tactics mistake where you thought you saw something good, but it didn't work out. There was an error in the calculation somewhere along the way, and you got into trouble because of it. So that's what I noticed 45% of the time. Almost half the games that players were losing was because of mistakes in those tactics calculations. And I hope you can understand how this is different from a blunder. A blunder is simply, oh, there was a free piece, I just didn't see it. Tactics mistake, you see what you're trying to do, you have a plan, but there's some sort of flaw in your logic when you're calculating out how that's going to work out. So let me show you one more example. Here's a position where white's castled, and this g2 pawn is being attacked by black, by both of these pieces, right? Black just played bishop h3, and now the pawn is under attack twice, and if white doesn't deal with it, we're going to be checkmated, right? Next move. So this is an example that I saw a lot where players were under attack and they kind of panicked a little bit, it seemed like, when they were trying to defend. So for example, a lot of players that I saw would do a move like g3. Like, well, I got to block the queen somehow, so I'll move this pawn up, and they end up losing a rook in the process because that's the only move that they saw to kind of stop this checkmate tactic. Well, it turns out knight to g5 is a much better move. You block the queen, so you're still preventing the checkmate, but you're also setting up your own attack on f7, and you're also threatening the bishop again with the knight. It's creating a lot of problems for black. It's a much better move, but it's a little bit tricky to see, and so I would consider that a tactics mistake if, instead of playing that move, you played a move like g3 and ended up losing your rook, right? So tactics mistakes, you were trying to do something, you just messed it up. All right, so the question that we have to ask ourselves is, how do we get better and fix this issue of making mistakes, right? Because nobody tries to make mistakes. You go into the game trying to play the best you can, but you just end up making these kind of mistakes, right? So how do we fix it? So in my experience, the number one way to get better at tactics and to not make so many mistakes is by doing tactics puzzles. So they have books that are just filled with these puzzles. And usually they're checkmate puzzles where you have to find the checkmate. But the idea is to train your brain to be able to recognize these different patterns. All right, so let me show you an example. In this position, if black plays bishop to g4, I immediately know that this is a mistake because there's a little tactic that I can do to get a really good advantage. So I'm going to move my knight and take on e5. Now, I'm giving up my queen, but I know that this is good for me because I have seen this tactic before and I know how it works. So the basic idea is you sacrifice your queen because you have a checkmate threat on f7 that was created by this position, right? And if black decides to take my knight instead, then I take his bishop. But you see, as soon as he played bishop g4, I immediately know, oh yeah, this is winning for me, knight takes e5, because I've seen this one before, my brain remembers it, and now I can just play it, right? I know how it works. Let me back up a few moves, and instead of playing knight to e7, if black would have played knight to f6, d3, the same thing, I also know I have to be careful because now if I try to do the same move, guess what? He's going to take my knight, and last time I could take his bishop, but now it's defended by the knight. But how do I know that so quickly? Because I've done these tactics puzzles over and over, and I've seen this one before. My brain just kind of remembers, right? And really, that's what chess is all about. It's lots and lots of these little tactics throughout the game. And the player who is better at them and who sees more of them correctly and makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win more often. So let me just show you an example of the inside of one of those books. You can see it has a diagram, and your job is to figure out what's the best move. It tells you white to play, and then on the next page, which is what it shows below, it'll have the solution. And so after you spend some time trying to figure it out, it'll tell you, okay, knight to f6 is checkmate. And it's actually checkmate because it's a double check. If you remember, the only way to get out of a double check is to move your king, but there's no place to move the king to, right? Everywhere that the king would try to move after knight f6 it is going to be still in check. So that's the move. And now that you've seen that, your brain will kind of start to pick up on that tactic. And if you're watching this video and you've never done these kind of tactics puzzles before, I'm telling you, the amount of improvement that you're going to see in just a couple of weeks from doing these like every day, it's going to be tremendous. This is the number one thing If you're serious about getting better at chess, you have to get better at tactics. And this is going to apply not just to get past 1,000, to get past 1,200, 1,400, 1,600. What you're going to find is that higher rated players are really, really good at tactics, and lower rated players tend to not be as good. And that is the determining factor in so many games. So my recommendation is pick up one of these books, or if you don't want to buy these books, you can find these puzzles online. I like to have a hard copy of the book and just kind of go through it and mark them off as I complete them, and highlight ones that are important that I think I'll see frequently, just so I can remember them. But it's up to you, however you want to learn it. Just you need to find these puzzles somewhere and work on them every day, and you're going to see a huge improvement in just a couple of weeks if you continue to do this. All right, so the last thing I'll say about tactics is, there's a lot of principles like, okay, control the center and develop all your pieces and castle before move 10 and don't bring your queen out too early and things like that. Those are great. But you can not even follow those principles. If you are really good at tactics, you're probably going to win more games than somebody who follows all those principles but isn't very good at tactics, right? That's just, chess is all about those kind of tactics. And as you get better at them, your rating is going to improve. All right, so if you do want to check out those books, I'll put the links down in the description below. Each one has 1,001 puzzles, so they'll last you a very long time. But now let's move on to the next 3 issues. All right, so 7% of the games were decided by too many pawn moves. And what this means is, like, I saw some people that would play games like this. They're starting out and they would, move their pawn, and then they would move another pawn, and then they would move another pawn, and they would, sometimes they would be going for some sort of setups like this, but after a couple of moves and you realize, well, black has almost all his pieces developed, his king is castled and safe behind these pawns, and what has white done? I mean, just moved a bunch of pawns, right? So don't do this. It's not going to turn out well for you, most likely. It's much better to just move 1 or 2 pawns, 3 at the most, and then focus on getting your pieces out. That's what's going to be much more important than moving so many pawns. All right, the next one on the list isn't really a mistake. It's more of just something that I noticed, but players having a lack of endgame knowledge. So a lot of people would get to a position like this where it was relatively even, and they just had no idea what to do at the end of the game, and they ended up just making some very terrible decisions and losing because they just had no idea what to do. So I have a video, I'll put in the card above, about 3 endgame principles that you want to know. Just super fast summary. Activate your king. Like, you always want to use your king at the end of the game. And then the other 2 principles are, you want to try to watch out for pawns. Your pawns are much more valuable. And then passed pawns, which are pawns that can eventually become a queen, are going to be the most important thing, and that's what you're going to be trying to do at the end of the game. But go watch that video if you want a little bit more detail on that. But yeah, just a few games, 7% I noticed, was just lack of endgame knowledge that was kind of causing people to lose. And then last up, 6% of the games, people were losing because they were bringing out their queen too early. Most of the time this happened, it was people trying to do like either the 4-move checkmate or some sort of cheap trick with their queen. So like queen h5, and occasionally I saw bishop c4 trying to go for, like I said, the 4-move checkmate. But sometimes people were hoping for g6 so they could, get this cheap little fork. But most of the time what ended up happening was their opponent was smart enough to like defend it. And if they tried the checkmate, they knew it was coming. They would just chase the queen away. And you don't want to be moving your queen so many times in the opening. It's not good practice. And if you want to get better and get past 1,000, you probably should break that habit and focus on just developing your knights and bishops, castling, and keep the queen back early in the game. Bringing out the queen early is really not a great strategy. Well, hey, if you are finding yourself stuck at 1,000, I hope this video gave you some insight on some of the things you can do to get past that level, get to 1,100, 1,200, and beyond. The big takeaway from this video is to focus on your tactics. If you improve your tactics, I promise you, you're going to see your rating go up rapidly. Stay tuned for the next video in this series where I talk about how to get past the 1,200 rating level. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and take care.